All right, you guys, welcome to week 1 of the 2-week transformation. I'm so happy you're here with me. I cannot wait to take you through all of the things that I did over the course of these 2 weeks and just show you how quickly your body can change. It is an amazing thing and it's not talked about enough, but here we are. We're going to be talking about it a lot here. So much that you really find that thing that you've been wanting in your body and you see how available it is for you. Oh man, we've got so many good things to talk about today. I'm really excited for this. One thing I do want to say before we get started is that I just made you a video about workouts and food that I want to make sure that you watch before you do the recipes, before you're eating any of the food, before you're doing the workouts. Really, really good and important information, not common knowledge. So make sure you go watch that. As far as today, we're going to talk about the different things that I did over the course of the 2 weeks. And the great part about this is you don't just have 2 weeks, you have 4 weeks, because I wanted you to have time to implement everything. And I wanted you to have time to really let all of this sink in and be with the process and have some extra support as you go. So the number one thing, the very first thing I want to talk about is the experience that I had. So the real reason why I created this was because I had like a YouTube podcast interview that I was going to be on, and I needed to get an outfit for it. So I went shopping and tried on some clothes, and I was shocked. I was shocked at how different my body looked. So I had this moment, Josh and Jonathan were with me when I was shopping, and I had this moment where I looked in the mirror and I was like, I don't recognize my body. Like I didn't at all. And I'd known that like over the like weeks, months leading up to that I had been doing a lot of emotional work, a lot of emotional release, a lot of inner work, and a lot of focus on different areas of my life than I normally focus on. And I hadn't been really paying too close attention to my body. So it was like kind of a shock to me to see the change, but then at the same time it was also like, yeah, I've been doing some stuff, and I deeply know the relationship between emotions and our bodies, and how our bodies communicate with us, and how our soul communicates with us through our body. Like basically the soul is speaking a language using our body. So anytime you feel pain, sickness, illness, disease, anytime you feel anytime you have extra fat on your body, your shape changes, anything like that, it's all like feedback. It's all information to say, hey, there's this thing going on below the surface that you're not paying attention to, or you keep shoving under the rug, that we really need to focus on. Like it's really, really important. Like your soul is trying to speak to you in that way through your body. And a lot of times we just kind of ignore it, push it aside, or just get angry at it. Like, why is my body doing this to me? Like just mad about it, because we don't understand that there's something else going on there. But because I have all of this knowledge and information from doing this work for the last 9 years, I was looking in the mirror and I was like, wow, that looks really different. Like my body does not look like my body right now. And I knew that there was a lot of emotional things that were showing up on my body. Another thing that I talked about in some of my posts that you guys saw was that there was a lot of cellulite on the back of my legs, which hadn't been there before. And again, cellulite is like such a it's like such a sign from our souls. Cellulite is a lot of like not releasing like self-hatred and things like that. And the stuff that I had been experiencing the weeks before that was releasing a lot of that self-hatred and seeing a lot of that come up. So there was a lot that had to do with that. So like I said, in a way it was really surprising, and in a way it wasn't. So I had my moment with it where I was probably how you're feeling about your body right now. Didn't like what I saw, wasn't happy with myself, was giving myself a hard time. How did I let myself get like this? Why is this happening? All these thoughts that tend to flood our minds, like what's going on? What does this mean about me? All of the thoughts. And it's where I had been before when I had gained those extra 40 pounds. So those feelings were not new to me. They were not unique. They were things that I'd felt before, but hadn't felt them in a while. So what I did from that point forward, first I just let myself feel my feelings, because that's okay. We are women, or we have a dominant feminine energy, depending on who you are watching this course. If you have a dominant feminine energy, it's really important for us to feel our emotions. We are emotional beings, we're emotional creatures. So it's really important for us to actually allow ourselves to feel emotions instead of pushing it aside and saying, just get over it, just move through it, like just forget it, just shove it under the rug. That's usually the stuff that gets extra weight on our bodies in the first place. So instead of going there, we want to be okay with it, love on that part of ourselves, and know it's all right. Like I've heard, there's one book I love where he describes women as being like the ocean. We're up, we're down, we're all over the place, we're changing every single moment. And the more you kind of get used to like that's our nature, the less guilty you feel about being like that and feeling those feelings. Men or dominant masculine energy is a lot more mission oriented and very focused and wants to get tasks done. Women are more about the feeling of everything happening. You know, when you're having a discussion in if it's like masculine energy, feminine energy is going to be like, let's find a solution, let's move through this, let's go and let me complete my next mission and my next task. The feminine energy is going to be all about how it feels. How do I feel in this moment? Like, you know, what is what you just said making me feel? What's the circumstance making me feel? It's the feelings and the emotions. It's two different things. And the first thing to do is just let yourself be allowed to be emotional about it. The second thing you do after that is you start to move forward. And that happens when we take the judgment out of it. It's okay if you feel feelings of judgment. You're human. It happens. There's so many like magazines and movies and TV shows and people and Instagram and all these different things that are telling us that we need to look this certain way and have this certain body type to be beautiful. So there's a lot of things that just naturally make us want to shame and judge ourselves for how we look. So this next phase you move into once you feel your emotions is removing judgment. And in place of judgment, you want to just observe yourself. And you'll hear me say this so much throughout this program, but you want to be the non-judgmental observer. And what that looks like is you're looking in the mirror, you're seeing your body. If you're being in a judgmental place, you might be like, what's wrong with me? Why did I let myself get like that? Ew, that looks disgusting. I don't like how my body looks. Why is this like this? Why can't this be different? The non-judgmental observer is looking in the mirror and going, wow, that's really interesting that I have all this extra weight on my body right now. Oh, that's very interesting. I'm observing that, you know, there's weight in places that I wouldn't like it to be. Oh, I'm noticing that I'd like this to look different, or I'd like, you know, that my mind thinks that this should be shaped differently or be less weight. That's being non-judgmental. So the judgment is not required. It is not a part of changing your body, which I know is actually taught to us. Like, we're made to think that we have to judge ourselves to the body we want. And we really don't. You do not have to judge yourself to the body you want. You can love yourself to the body you want. So you do that from, instead of assigning a lot of meaning, like, because my body looks like this, I'm not beautiful, or because my body looks like this, I'm not worthy of love, or because my body looks like this, I'm not going to get that promotion, or this person's not going to take me seriously, or blah, 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 blah. All of the thoughts. We don't have to go there, or if you do go there, you can shift out of it by just going into the observer mode, which is like, okay, that's really interesting that I'm seeing that I'm having thoughts to make me think that if my body looked different, people would love me more, or find me more attractive, or want to be with me more, or want to be around me. Isn't that interesting that I'm having those thoughts? Versus, this is how it is, and that's that, and this is bad. We're taking that out of it. We're just going, I'm just observing myself from out here. Wow, that's unique. That's interesting. And that really helps to get you feeling lighter emotionally. And when you feel lighter emotionally, you will feel lighter physically. One thing happens, it's like a domino effect. Once you feel lighter emotionally, you start to feel lighter physically. It just happens naturally like that. You're going to change from the inside out. First, you're going to be doing this inner work, and then you change externally physically. And it's an amazing process. It's really beautiful and it's really amazing. But it starts with just being the non-judgmental observer so you can feel lighter. When you feel like there's something wrong with you and there's a problem and you have to fix it and this is bad and it means all these bad things happening for you, that feels really heavy. And we will talk about like energy, frequency, all these things, but like the higher your energy is, the better you feel, the more your body is in its natural state and will do what you want it to do from that place. The more you're heavy and resistant and mean to yourself and shameful and judgy, the more resistant your body will be to changing. So the workouts won't be as effective. The food won't be as effective if you're being really heavy and hard on yourself and judgy and shamey. So we're moving to a place of what feels a little bit better. So we're just observing. The next thing that I did was I removed the association of me being my body, which we kind of hit on a little bit there, but when we look in the mirror, that experience that I had when I was shopping, I was like looking at myself and judging like that is your body is who you are, which it's not, but that's what my mind automatically went to. It was like, this is you, this, again, it's like assigning meaning. So it's like, it means this about you and this, and these people will think of this, and you're not this, and blah, 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 all the things. You get what I'm talking about. So it's just really about removing the association of like you being your body. You are a soul. You're a spirit. You're in a body. Your body is not you. Like, I know we think that this body makes us more lovable or more attractive or more worthy of success, and it's just not true. That's what our minds tell us. Your energy is what makes you lovable, is what makes you attractive, is what makes you capable of success. It's just your energy, which is beautiful because we can change our energy at any point in time if it feels heavy or stagnant. The body is a different story. When you feel good, when your energy feels good, your body changes. So the next thing I want to move into is deciding. This is one of the biggest things that has changed my life, is just deciding things. And I know that sounds so simple, but a lot of times I'll go into a state where I want to like distract myself or say, oh, you know what, when I get more, when I lose weight, then I can have the thing I want. Or when I have more money, then I can have the thing that I want. Or when my body changes this way. Like, we tell ourselves, again, so many stories, and we have so many beliefs about what is required for us to have what we want, versus realizing that we're inherently worthy of everything we want just by being ourselves. There was a few clients in my Body Built by Love course recently who spoke about how when they were younger, they wished that their parents just showed them love for them being themselves versus them like getting good grades and being good at sports, being good at dance and all these different things. Like, they just wanted to be seen and acknowledged for being good enough inherently as they are. And that's every child's desire. That's every adult's desire, but it gets more amplified as we grow up. And that like being allowed to just be us and not be enough thing especially gets tangled when the body gets involved, because a lot of times people will think that when their body looks differently, then they'll be worthy, good enough, deserving of good things, deserving of love. And I've been there myself, I've absolutely felt all those feelings before. And it's heavy. Again, it's like heavy. It's that heavy energy that's like very resistant for our body to do what we want it to do. We get to just come back to the remembrance that you and your energy alone is enough for you to be successful, to be loved, to be worthy, to be deserving, to be good enough. And that's the focus. The body will change when we feel that feeling. So I'm going to teach you how to do that through this program. And it's all about deciding. So it's totally up to you. It really is that easy as you saying, I decide, and doing it over and over, because just saying I decide it now, a lot of times isn't enough. Sometimes we need to do it many, many, many times. The analogy of potty training a puppy, the analogy of a baby learning to walk, it's like we have to keep doing things multiple times over and over and over, especially with our mind and our beliefs, for them to finally stick. Like, isn't it true that when you first have a puppy and you tell it to go to the bathroom on the grass, that it's not just going to run there automatically and do that for you and then do it every time forward? You might have a unique circumstance where it does, and that's beautiful, and that does happen sometimes with people's beliefs in their minds. But for the most part, you're gonna have to show the puppy multiple times where to go to the bathroom before it just goes outside, runs to the grass, and pees there on its own. Same thing with your mind. You're gonna have to keep deciding and deciding and deciding and deciding until your mind just goes there on its own. Same thing with like a baby learning to walk. Jonathan learned to walk recently, so I've like seen this firsthand. When he was learning to walk, it wasn't like he just popped up and was like, cool, I'm walking now. It was like he tried to stand and he was like finding his balance, and then he fell down. And then he tried to stand back up and do it again, and then he found his balance, and then he fell back down. And he did it like multiple times, and then he would do that, and then he'd sleep and rest, and his muscles would get stronger because he used them. And then he'd try again and maybe get a little bit further and fall. And like, I mean, God, he fell thousands of times before he started walking. And that's the thing. And when babies are learning to walk, we're not over there being like, ooh, you fell down, guess it's not for you. You should probably just give up and call it a day, you know? No, who says that to a baby, right? Why do we say that to ourselves then? When we do it once and it doesn't work, and then we're like, ooh, you know what? Maybe you're just supposed to be overweight the rest of your life. And I use that example because that's literally what I did for myself. Like, I remember having that one specific day, like a long time ago, when right before I first lost 40 pounds. And I said to myself, like, maybe I'm just supposed to be overweight for the rest of my life. Like, maybe that is just my destiny. And truly thought it, because I tried these different things and they weren't working. And luckily, I had this thought about the baby learning to walk, because I had to remember that if you don't get it the first time you try, or the first 5 times you try, or the first 500 times you try, you have to keep going, and you have to keep deciding you're going to get it until you get it. And you will get it. You just have to keep deciding, even when it's like makes you sad that you haven't gotten it yet. I noticed how frustrated Jonathan would get at times, like trying to walk, but he just kept going. And that's what babies do. They just keep on going. And I've noticed with other things that he just does it over and 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 over. And then he sleeps and gets stronger, and then he does it over and over and over and over and over and over until it's like part of him and it's normal, and then he's walking and he never has to think about it again, right? That's how this learning a new skill is. And that's how weight loss, health, all these things are the same. It's learning a new skill in a new way. So we have to keep going until it becomes natural and normal for us. And what most people do is they give up when it looks like it didn't work. They're like, it's not for me, it's not my genetics, it's too hard, I don't want to do this, I don't have the motivation, I don't have the time, I'm not consistent enough, all these things. And none of those are actually true. It's just that we believe them to be for whatever reason. You have to get back into the mindset of a baby learning to walk and potty training the puppy. We have to keep deciding. We have to keep going until we get it, because we will get it unquestionably. Your body will change for you how you want it to change, probably far better than how you even dream it could look. But we have to keep going with it. We can't just be like, ooh, I did a little inner work. It didn't change. Oh, it doesn't work. We have to be like, I did a little inner work. It didn't change. let's keep going. I'm still deciding it gets to work for me. I'm still choosing that this gets to work for me. You'll hear me say that a lot, like, just decide this gets to work for you, because that is that important. We have to keep choosing it gets to work for you. The other thing that I say to myself all the time is I decide that this gets to work quickly for me. I decide that results show quickly in my body when I'm doing my workouts. I decide that like my body responds and changes from every rep, like, and it does, because I have chosen that over and over and over again, even when it didn't look true, until it became true, and now it is true. And now I think, and it's like, duh, of course, duh. And it can be like that for you too. You just have to commit to deciding and keep going, and don't give up. We're all here in this together, so you're not alone in this not giving up thing. You're doing a great job just being here, and I'm so proud of you, because even just signing up for this was you saying, all right, I'm deciding to create a new pattern for myself. I'm deciding to break a pattern of self-sabotage, which is really similar to what we're talking about, the baby learning to walk. It's like, that's a pattern of self-sabotage to try it, not get it, and then say, it doesn't work for me. It's not gonna work, that's it. That's self-sabotage, because it will work for you. You will get it. There's nothing wrong with you. If you just keep going, you'll see the results you want. Then how good is that? Like, that's the best thing in the world. So if you're finding yourself frustrated at first, feeling like it's not working, know that you just got to keep going. A lot of you will see results with this really, really quickly. If you're not seeing results super fast, that just means that there's a little bit more resistance and more beliefs that are built up to say that you can't have it. All the more reason to keep deciding. Okay, what else do we have here? Okay, yeah, know what kind of person you are. So if you're a plan kind of person, follow the to-do list kind of person, work with that. You hear me talk about this in the nutrition and fitness video, but go downstream. You don't have to try and force your way upstream. If you're a plan person, give yourself a plan. I'm a person who really thrives from plans. Like, if you give me something and you say, do this, I will do it exactly how you tell me. The problem with that in the past has always been that I would do it perfectly to a T, but not get the results. So it would be really frustrating for me. Like, it all started in grade school. I would study, I would know the material, I'd go take the test, and then I'd fail. And then that started showing up with my body, where I was doing all the workouts and I was eating all the right food and my body wasn't changing. So that was because I was a plan person who never put an energy into it. So if you're having a similar experience where you do all the right stuff and you follow the plan, but you don't get the results you want, you don't succeed at this massive level like you want to, know that that's a big sign that you're not putting the energy into it. You don't have that like connective piece where you're feeling it, not just doing it, but feeling it. So that's essential. Yeah, it's really big to make sure you're feeling it. But like I was saying, if you are a plan person, give yourself a plan. Don't go against the current, just flow with it, which is why I give you specific plans for that kind of person. You have the workouts, you have the food, know that that's the stuff you want to do, but also know that if you're just doing the workouts and the food, the change is not going to take place like you want it to. You have to do the inner work. The inner work is the most important part of this program. It's the most important part of any weight loss thing. Inner work, inner work, inner work, inner work, energetic work, like getting your energy up to a different place. That's what we're here to do. If you're a plan person, don't get yourself caught in what I used to get myself caught in, which is I did all the workouts and I ate all the food. Why isn't it working? Don't go to that place. If you're a plan person, set up your plan, make sure you're doing the workouts, make sure you're doing the food, but more important than anything, make sure you are doing the energy work, the inner work, this kind of stuff where you're figuring out what is keeping you resistant and how you raise your energy to a higher level to feel it, not just do it. You gotta feel it. The feel it part is the most important part, not the do it part. Which is why I tell you that you don't really have to do the workouts and the food, and I've proved this in my own body. I didn't work out or eat healthy food for a really long time as like a little bit of an experiment, and it didn't do anything because my mindset was there, my energy was there. But it's when we lose our energy, then none of it works. So again, go with the current, we're taught that we have to work out and eat the food to change our bodies. So just go with the current, just eat healthy food, just do the workouts, but do the energy work. That's so freaking important. Don't just do the workouts and the food. It's not really what we're here to do. Think of those as bonus items. Have a plan, commit to releasing whatever needs to go. So there are going to be things that come up that need to leave, that need to go, that no longer serve you, that won't get you to where you want to go. Be open to those things being released. Be open to letting go of those things that don't serve you anymore. Sometimes it's really scary to let go of what's comfortable for us. And again, that's why I have this group for you all, so that we can talk about stuff that's coming up, so you can be with it, so you're not alone in this process. It can feel scary, it can feel whatever. You have to be brave and courageous, and having a group of women to support you is the best thing ever. Like, you don't have to do this on your own. You can do it on your own. Of course, you are that powerful, you are that strong, but if you could have a group of women there to support you and stand for you when you're feeling weak, and like remind you of your power, not give you power, but just remind you and be like, you've got this, like you can do this, you're strong. It's really life-changing. So I'm really excited that you have the group, get to know everybody. Everybody here is amazing, and I love all of you so much already, and you're all like so kindred spirits. So just connect. Yeah, like I said, just stay open to releasing the things that need to go, and going through this process. Choose to get in touch with, okay, this is what I did. I chose to get in touch with myself and know myself and love myself. So this is the big energy shift and the big thing for week 1. It's getting to know yourself. We get really far away from who we actually are, because we get caught up in stuff. We get caught up in life. Get caught up in especially living the life that other people want us to live versus the one that we want to live, or the one we think we have to support. If kids come into the picture, then all of a sudden we're living for them and we're doing what they want, we're doing what our partner wants, versus doing what we need to do and what would support us and what would take care of us. I've gotten to places in my life where I've been like, I don't even like what I'm doing. I've just been like telling myself I like what I'm doing. Like, I've been lying to myself and believing it. Like, what am I doing? And those times have been the times I've had the most weight on my body, and have struggled with my weight the most. It's like our body is like saying to us, look, you're lying to yourself, or you don't know yourself, or like there's part of you that wants to be expressed that you're not letting out. It needs to come out. It needs to be expressed. Like, our bodies really will like show us the answers. And let's go back to the basics here. Like, you're on earth right now for a reason. You were born for a reason. You have a very specific purpose that's coded into just you, a unique mission for your life. And when we get caught up, be a non-judgmental observer here of yourself. If you've gotten caught up in what other people want for you, or taking care of other people over yourself, we're not fully in touch with our mission then. We're not fully in touch with our purpose. And yes, taking care of children, humans that we love, that is a part of our purpose. Some of our purpose, not everybody's. It's part of some of our purpose, but it's not the whole thing. There's so much more to it. So you know that, you feel it inside of yourself. You might not know what it is, but when you go in the direction of your desires, you will start to see it more and more clearly. It'll unveil itself, it'll reveal itself to you. And all of a sudden, you'll start to put the pieces together and go, that's what I'm here to do. Like, that's what I'm here to do. That's how I'm here to be. If you're stuffing yourself in a box, living in a way that you don't like to live, living in a place you don't like to live, living around people you don't like to live with, doing things that you don't like to do, your body's going to reflect that. And it's our job to prioritize ourselves and to take care of ourselves, because honestly, when we're taking care of all these other people or doing all these things that other people want us to do, we're not our best. We're not our happiest. No matter how hard we try, there's no way to fake that. So we have to get in touch with ourselves, because you're probably doing what other people want you to do because you're trying to make them happy, and you're probably taking care of all these other people over yourself because you're trying to make them happy, or trying to love them, or trying to take care of them, which is beautiful. But there's no possible way that you can love them as much as they deserve your love when you're not taking care of yourself. They feel it. Even if they don't know what they're feeling, they feel it. So like the example of a person whose parents told them that they need to be a doctor, but they just want to be a meditation leader. If that's the case, then this person has come to me for coaching because they've been living their life. They've been going to school to be a doctor, doing these things for their parents because they just want to make their parents happy. They just want to show their parents love. And here they are, totally unhappy because they don't want to be a doctor. They don't like the schooling. They don't like what they're doing. They feel like they just want to be spending their time being a meditation leader, doing things on that level, being that kind of a person. And they're spending their life trying to make their parents happy. Meanwhile, they're not happy, and their parents can feel that. Even though the parent wants them to be a doctor, their parent still feels how deeply unhappy their child is, and therefore they can't be as happy as they want to be. People might not be expressing this how I am. That's what's happening below the surface. They don't actually feel happy because you're not actually happy. They're telling you to be a doctor because they think that's what's going to make you happy. They just want you to be happy. That's their way of you being happy. And you're just following it to try and make them happy. Meanwhile, you're not happy. They can feel you're not happy. Nobody's happy. So even though you're doing what you think will make them happy, no one's becoming happy at this point. If you were to go and follow your true path, follow the meditation leader path, your destiny would unfold, your purpose would be revealed, things would present themselves, and you would feel lighter, you would feel happier, you would feel more free. And while it's not the path that your parents think would make you happy, you start to become happier, and you become happier and happier every single day. And all of a sudden they see that, and they feel how happy you are, and that makes them happy, whether they're saying it or not. That's what's going on. And I'm a personal example of this, where when I went to health coaching school, like it's not the whole doctor situation, but I went to health coaching school and my parents were like, I don't know what you're doing. We support you, but I don't know what this online coaching thing is. And at first they were just kind of like, we don't know, just do your thing, Steph. We love you. As time went on, I would get on the phone with my dad and he would say to me, you know, Steph, I still don't understand what you do, but every time I talk to you, you seem happier. And that just makes me feel so good. He's like, keep doing whatever you're doing. And I was like, okay. And I just kept on going. And every time I talked to him, he'd say, you just seem happier and happier. Just keep doing whatever you're doing. And then eventually now he fully understands what I do, which is great. Or maybe he doesn't. I don't know. But the point is that when we do the thing that we think is us sacrificing ourselves to make other people happy, we're never actually making them happy. We're actually making all of us unhappy, whether it's being said or not. So this whole thing of following your heart's desires and living how you want to live and being who you want to be is so much bigger than just like, ooh, I just want to be my best self. I just want to live my best life. It's so much bigger than that. This is huge. This is like monumental. Like, it's incredibly important that you're following your own desires and taking care of yourself and living how you need to live. There's been so many times when I made really challenging decisions that I had to say, I'm not going to live like I'm living anymore. When I was in Pennsylvania and I didn't know why, but I knew I needed to move to California because I wanted a different lifestyle. My heart was in the sunshine of California and whatever. You know, I wasn't with Josh then or anything, but look at all the things that have unfolded for me since I took action on that. I'm not saying like take a giant leap and move to California unless you really desire to do that. But I'm saying do this inner work and do this stuff where you get to know yourself and your wants and your desires and find this beautiful happy medium that is always available. Like, everyone really will win when you follow your desire, but it's not like I'm following my desire, let's go, everybody get on board. It's like, okay, I'm going to choose to follow my desire. Now I've got more awareness that I'm following my desires. I don't know exactly what it is, but I'm just like cultivating it and I'm letting it come to fruition, and I'm deciding that that's what gets to happen. And you know, I'm going to take action on it as soon as like the actions are presented to me, and I'm going to move forward even though I'm scared and blah, blah, blah. Like for me, that looked like moving from Pennsylvania to California, and it was kind of a rash decision for me, but not like that rash. Like it was, you know, me choosing that was what was going to happen, knowing it needed to happen, being really scared of who that would hurt by me leaving and by me moving, like especially my family. And I remember it was like almost Thanksgiving, and I was like, I can't leave before Thanksgiving. And I was like, but if I don't leave Thanksgiving, then I'll have to stay for Christmas. And if I stay for Christmas, my mom's birthday is in January, so I gotta stay for that. And then like my birthday's in March, and like, you know, I started thinking about it. I'm like, I'm gonna never leave if I don't leave now. So I was like, I had to make that challenging decision. I didn't just be like, bye everybody, peace out, like do you later. But I was like, guys, I have to do this for me. I don't know exactly what it means, but I have to take action on it, and I need to move forward. And I packed my stuff in my car and I drove out to California, and my mom was like, I'll drive with you, like let's do a road trip. You know, like things worked out, things went well, but I allowed them to, and I decided that they would. I didn't decide that there would be chaos and craziness and people being really upset at my decision. I decided that it was going to work out for the highest and best for everybody involved. So the big thing here is it's about getting to know yourself, it's about loving yourself, and it's about getting to a place where you're able to be you. And I know that probably sounds big. This is like, I'll guide you through it. We're gonna move through it together. But just start right now with your journal, like start writing down, what are my desires? Like, what am I doing in my life right now that maybe I'm not fully loving? What am I doing that I'm like telling myself is great that's not actually great? And, you know, just kind of be with that and see what areas need to grow and evolve for you, and take that time to decide how they get to grow and evolve in a way that serves everybody for the highest good, and know that everybody will get on board with you, and create some new beliefs. And notice, the other thing I want you to write down this week is notice the limiting beliefs that come up in your mind about food, about workouts, about your body, about your weight. Just notice when you have a thought that's like, oh, that can't work for me, or oh, it couldn't be that quick. Or even as you're watching these videos, you're probably having thoughts of like, yeah, I'm sure it works for Steph, but it can't work for me. Or yeah, I doubt that it could be that easy. If you're having those thoughts, write them down and bring them up to us so that we can work through them. There we go. Week 1. Damn, that was a lot of good stuff. If you have questions, let's talk in the group, bring them up in the group. Know that I love you, know that I'm here to support you, know that I'm standing for you, having everything you want and more right now. Know that your body gets to change quickly. Know that this gets to be an easy process for you. It could be emotional, but it gets to be easy. It gets to be fun. Growth is fun. Personal development is fun. Like feeling more joy and freedom and radiance and health and happiness is fun. And you get to have that experience. Potty train the puppy, baby learning to walk, decide, stay tenacious. You got this. So excited for you, and really excited to talk to you in week 2. Love you guys. Mwah.